me tell the story, and that is I was taking care of a spaniel named Savannah for a woman who was dying of emphysema, and she would go in and out of the hospital with various ailments. And when she went into the hospital, Savannah would come and stay with me, and it came to the point where she was at hospice and she knew she was dying, and Savannah was with me. I took Savannah to visit her every day, and in one of those visits she started talking with me about helping her have Savannah put down. She was so afraid that she was going to die. There was no friend, no family member who could take her dog, and she would end up in a shelter, go through a lot of stress, and be put down. Savannah was 7 years old, so she was a senior dog, but she was a healthy 7-year-old dog. But she was also a shy dog who nipped people that she didn't know. She would not have done well in a shelter. In that moment, I said to Alice, "Don't worry, I'll make sure that Savannah's okay." And she just breathed a sigh of relief. She had peace of mind now. And when I left that visit, I got out my cell phone, I called Monica right away. We've been doing rescue work together for 12 years. And I said, I have this idea for a new organization taking care of dogs for people who are dying, going into nursing homes. People have already passed away. And Monica, brilliant as she is, said that's a great idea. And she said, but we also have to, she knew right away, we also have to rescue senior dogs who end up in shelters. And they, in all our years of doing rescue work, when we would go in to choose dogs, to find dogs who needed our help, it was the senior dogs that really broke our hearts the most. They were the most depressed. It was hard on them. And they were the first ones on the euthanasia list. So that's our dual mission. And as you know, we also added our Helping Paw program pretty early on. Oh, I was wondering why that didn't go. You're pulling it. And so in 8.5 years, we have now rescued 1,538 dogs, and we have helped 750 people through our Helping Paw program. So Helping Paw provides financial assistance to senior citizens and other people who can't provide medical care for their dogs and cats. And we also provide volunteer assistance, dog walking, and temporary foster care for people who either can't walk their own dog because they're elderly or ill, or have had a surgery and they just need somebody to help them for 6 weeks. Sometimes it's people who are going into the hospital, or they've had a heart attack and they're in the hospital all of a sudden, and our volunteers come together and help so that that dog doesn't end up in the shelter and is able to go back to their person when they're ready to take their dog back. So though that is what all of you have helped us do. We could not do this work without our donors. And so this is what our reception is about, is really, really thanking you and helping you to understand that just about every single dog here, I think, has benefited from your, I don't think there's a dog here who's not a Peace of Mind dog, who has benefited from your caring and your generosity. And something that I don't know if all of our donors know about is that last year a group called Animal Welfare and Assistance Group, who had been in existence for 30-40 years, folded, and they ended their programs and became a private foundation. To what money they had, they wanted to give that to other organizations who are doing what their mission was, which was financial assistance and helping people and their pets stay together. And they came to us and said, we're folding our programs, can you take over our program? So we, in essence, took over the programs of Animal Welfare and Assistance, and they gave us a $216,000 3-year grant to do that. So last July, we a little more than doubled our Helping Paw efforts. And for 2.5 months, Tracy Pepper, our board member, took all of the applications. She basically, really what Animal Welfare and Assistance did, literally, if you called their number, it was forwarded to Peace of Mind. And Tracy handled all of those calls for 2 months while we put in place processes and hired somebody to coordinate that program. So that is our 5th employee now, as a half-time helping paw coordinator, and she coordinates the financial assistance and the temporary foster care and the dog walking brigades. So that was an enormous gift to us to have that program funded, and they have suggested that they will continue to fund it from now on. They have money that's in an endowment, and whatever they get from their investment returns will come to Peace of Mind and to some other groups as well once they get all of their act together. But they said, you know, you guys are okay. You guys are okay, so we feel really, really good about that. The Bower House, this beautiful place where we are. Many of you know how we got this house. It was donated, basically the money was donated to us to purchase this specific house by a woman who was dying of breast cancer. We did the Helping Paw program. She wanted to thank us. She left us money for this house. She left us some money for medical care for the dogs. And so I know a few people said, wow, this is beautiful. This is, you know, this is nicer than most other people's houses in Pacific Grove. Yes, it is. We're very, very lucky. We're very fortunate, and we know that. And it was 2 years ago that I stood right here and I said, we want that house next door, because we were thinking about our future, and as our programs grow and we're able to serve more animals and we need more staff, we were outgrowing this house, and we were able to purchase this house next door, which is, I'm just going to have to point out, Lucinda McDermott and Derek, who came to us and said, our family foundation, the Bowen Family Foundation, would like to help you purchase this house and get this vet clinic going, which was the reason we wanted that house, was to expand for our staff, but also to be able to hire our own vet and have a vet clinic. So if you guys hadn't come right then and said, here, we have this for you.
You would have found somebody else, Carie.
No.
I know you.
She thinks we would have found somebody else.
You would.
You gave us the courage. You gave us the foundation we needed to move forward with it, because it was a scary, scary thing. So thank you for giving us, helping us to believe in ourselves and getting us started. And so here we are. We wanted to have a vet clinic over here. We've been working with the City of Pacific Grove. City of Pacific Grove wanted us to provide 7 parking spaces in order to run a vet clinic for our own dogs out of that building. There's just no room. There's nowhere to put 7 parking spaces. So it was actually a little bit of a blessing in disguise. We said, okay, back to square one. First of all, we still needed the house for the expansion of our staff. I'm working over there now. This place is full, and we hired Alyssa, who's doing the Helping Paw program. Had we not had that house, we would have nowhere for her to go. So it was just like, it was such perfect timing. Are these things planned? It was just such perfect timing for us. So we know that we still needed that house, but we needed to start looking for a commercial space where we knew 100% we can have our vet clinic. And we found a space on 10th Street in Monterey. We're in escrow right now. Part of the escrow was, I don't know how the language, Jette, part of the offer.
Pending the use permit.
Yes, part of the offer was that we escrow will not close until we have our use permit in our hot little hands. The good things about that space is that it is already zoned for a vet clinic. It's on the same street as a operating veterinary clinic and a grooming place and a boarding place. And so it didn't seem like it was going to be too much of an issue. We did our use permit process. We went and we talked with our neighbors, made sure everybody was welcoming. Every single business on that street has a dog at work with them. It's the best neighborhood. Big animal lovers. And so it looks like we're going to be welcomed. May 22nd, we are on the agenda with the City of Monterey to the state.